If you're a fisherman in Arizona, you might be missing out on one of the most underrated fish we have. A fish that gets so much hate, but yet is superior to almost every fish we have in almost every way possible. Today, I'm gonna be going fully in depth into carp fishing here in Arizona, why you should get into it this summer, and all the things you can do to have the best success possible. But before I get into all the meat and potatoes, if this is your first time on my channel, welcome in. My name's Porter. I'm a fisherman here in Arizona, and I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube by the end of 2026. Currently on track, but every subscription matters, so I would appreciate if you just take a second and hit subscribe. It's completely free. All right, real quick, I'm gonna put timestamps in the video, so if you come back to this later, or if you kind of want to skip around, you can look in the bottom or on the screen and see where you can skip around to find certain information. But this is gonna be a very information-packed video, as well as some fishing. And for my normal viewers, you can just perceive this as a normal video. Nothing wrong with that. So first I'm gonna talk about why carp fishing is overpowered. Then I'm gonna talk about the different types of carp we have, the different methods and baits I use to catch them. I'll dive a little bit into proper fish handling. And of course, we're gonna catch them on camera, because this wouldn't be a fishing video if I didn't go fishing, of course. So from what I understand, carp fishing gets a lot of hate for three main reasons. One, carp are considered invasive here in the United States, so a lot of people just hate them because of that. Two, they have a bad rep as being a bottom feeding trash fish, which again, I totally get it. They're not the cleanest fish. They're definitely bottom feeders that can live in some nasty water. And third, people usually don't eat them. I know some people do, but for most people, these fish are like non-edible. So if you are not a catch and release fisherman, there's no reason to even try to catch them. But for those of us who are catch and release fishermen here in Arizona, which is like 99% of us, because most of the water we have, you see like this pond behind me, you couldn't pay me money to eat something out of here. So when it comes to catch and release fishing, they just check all the boxes off. They're easy to catch. You can catch them year round. They get big. It's very easy to get them over 10 pounds. They fight really good. And we actually have a huge variety of carp, which I'll touch on in a second. And there's a bunch of different ways to catch them, which makes them really fun for beginners, advanced fishermen, anybody that just wants to go out, have some fun. These fish are perfect. So in Arizona, we actually have 7 types of carp, believe it or not. One of the most common species you'll find in our canals is the grass carp. This fish is also known as the white ammer. And for the record, if you are catching them in the canals, they are protected. They're stocked for cleaning purposes. So if you are someone that wants to eat the fish, these fish got to be put back. You can identify grass carp by their short and tall dorsal fin, and they do not have barbels on the lips. And then in our ponds and lakes, pretty much the main fish you're gonna find is the common carp. And the common carp has a genetic mutation known as the mirror carp, which is basically the same thing, but the scales are bigger, giving it kind of a cool looking pattern. And on the more rare side, you're gonna find koi carp, which is actually what I'm hoping to catch here today. And those can look all kinds of different ways. And the koi carp can breed with the common carp, which makes what we call a ghost carp, which can also look all kinds of different ways. And the easiest way to tell if something's a ghost carp, usually its color will be a little off, but there's kind of like a V-shaped pattern on its head. That's like the biggest giveaway. And then speaking of hybrids, the common carp is also known to breed with goldfish. And that hybrid, which is actually very rare, I've only caught a few of them here, is known as a color carp. And this fish kind of looks like a smaller common carp with slightly bigger scales, and once again does not have barbels on the lips. And that brings the last one, which isn't really a carp, but I'm kind of rounding it up in that, and that's goldfish. So 7 different types that can look all kinds of different ways, all but I believe the grass carp can have the fantail mutation as well, which is super cool. So just huge variety of fish. It's not like one type of carp. We have all kinds of different things you can target. And I know I'm kind of yapping, but I really want to give you guys the best chance possible when you come out to try to catch these fish. So bear with me. I'm throwing a lot of info at you, and then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty on the actual setups and catching fish. When it comes to setups, there's pretty much 3 main ways that I catch carp. You can go a little more in depth than this, but for beginners and for your average person, this is the full extent of what you're going to need. And that is fishing weightless, corn, or bread. And typically I'll be doing that if I'm fishing ponds or if I'm sight fishing. So if I'm actually looking at the fish, trying to catch a fish that's in front of me, throwing weightless is going to ensure your highest possibility of being able to catch that. And if you're fishing pressured fish or clear water, weightless is definitely a good way to go, because the less tackle, the higher chance that a fish is willing to bite and hold on to your bait. And the next method is sort of seasonal, but it's super deadly when it happens. If you've ever been out and you see the fish starting to eat off the top, I will use a method I just call top water bread, and it is exactly what it sounds like. You just get some bread, put it on a hook, no weights or anything, and you float it on the top. And those fish will come up and they'll eat off the top. And if they're eating off the top, chances are they're eating off the top more than they're eating off the bottom. So being able to use this method is a lot of fun. It's always a blast watching the fish come up and eat your bait. It's super exciting. But why I say it's kind of seasonal is because if it's too hot, they'll be hunkered down, and if it's too cold, they'll be hunkered down. So we might be able to get on a topwater bite today, but if somehow we can't, I'm at least gonna show you how to do that. So the next time they're eating off the top, you will be prepared. And the last method, and the most advanced method, also my favorite way of catching these fish, is using a feeder mixed with some chum. Now essentially you're gonna have a hook on a main line. This is gonna go to a swivel, and behind the swivel you're gonna have this little cage looking thing that is called a feeder. And what we'll basically do is make up this recipe of chum or pack bait, put it up on that feeder, and so when you cast it out, it'll start to spread out in the water and those fish will come in. And I'm gonna show you guys how I make the chum. I'm gonna show you how to get the method feeders, where to get them, all that good stuff. So I promise you, we're getting into absolutely everything today. And just to touch on the tackle a little bit, I typically will use 4 to 10 pound line to fish for carp. You can go heavier, but they do have soft mouths, which can make you lose some fish if you use heavier line. But also, carp pick up on stuff really quickly. If you're fishing pressured fish, clear water, the heavier line and the more tackle you have, the less likely you're gonna get a bite. As far as hook size goes, I typically will use anywhere from a size 1 to a size 6 hook for like normal carp. Sometimes I'll go a little bit bigger if I'm fishing like big water for big fish. And if you wanna go super fancy, you can throw hair rigs. I'm not really a huge fan, but that is an option if you wanna go that route. But generally speaking, as long as your drag is set right and you are patient enough, 4 pound line is gonna be able to get it done. I've caught plenty of double-digit fish on 4 pound line. You just gotta be patient. Don't horse the fish, take your time, learn how to fight them on lighter line, you'll be good. And I'm just gonna briefly touch on fish handling, but then we'll obviously show it a little bit as we get the fish. 2 things that you can do to best ensure the safety of these fish going back in the water. Number 1 is use a rubber net. I see a lot of people use nylon nets. They absolutely destroy the slime coat of the fish, which can leave them susceptible to disease and even death when they go back in the water. So if you're planning on doing some catch and release fishing, especially for like grass carp, which are protected, get yourself a rubber net. Make sure you get yourself a landing mat as well, which I actually realized I forgot today. And I'll show you what to do if you happen not to have a landing mat, or if you're like me and you forget things easily, because getting a fish coated in dirt or ruining their slime coat in any way, it's just not good for them. All right, I know that was an absolute ton of info thrown at you. We're gonna get into actual fishing now and put together everything I've just told you. I'm here at an urban pond where I'm gonna be trying the first 2 methods. We're gonna try to sight fish them. The water is a lot higher than it was a couple days ago, so hopefully that's still possible. And we'll get some pack bait whipped up and throw that out there. And if we can get on a good bite, hopefully get some koi here, I'm gonna run down to another pond where I've been able to get them on top water quite a bit. And we're gonna show you how to fish for top water carp, and hopefully they'll be biting today. It is gonna be a little warm, so I'm not 100% certain, but we're gonna give it a shot. All right, I think that touches about all the general talking information. So now the last thing we got to do is make up our bait. Like I said, for the sight fishing or just fishing weightless, I'll typically use bread or corn. So I got a loaf of bread there. And then our pack bait recipe is super easy to make, and it is so cheap. Like, if you get the right stuff, you can seriously make this for under $5 and it'll last you a while. You want to start off with a family size thing of corn. This is a 29 ounce. And then we're gonna get Jello. I prefer strawberry. I don't know if it really matters, but red I think is the best color for attracting fish. And then we got ourselves some plain panko breadcrumbs, unseasoned. I know some seasonings can kind of like deter fish, so get yourself some unseasoned. And that's literally it. 3 ingredients. All you got to do is throw this in a bag and mix it up, and you're good to go to use it as bait, as chum if you want to just throw a handful where you're casting your bait. I'll typically start with the breadcrumbs in the bag, dump the entire thing in there, and then Jello. Oh, this is a 0 sugar one too, which I don't really think matters, but dump that entire thing in there. And let's give this just a little mix. That sun's coming up and this lighting's kind of horrible, so It's gonna take a second to balance out, but bear with me. Make sure, guys, please take care of your trash. Don't leave it at the spots. I cleaned up some of this stuff this morning from somebody else who made chum here. So please be courteous to your fellow fishermen. And here's a little pro tip for you. I see guys get wrong all the time when making chum. You do not want it to be mushy. You want it to be shuffly a little bit. You don't want it like dry, but you don't want to be able to bunch it completely together and it doesn't fall apart. The whole point of it hitting the water is you want it to cloud out. That can only happen if it can stick together enough for you to cast it out, but not be stuck together too much that it can't spread out. So best way I found to do that is to dump out about half the corn water, and obviously some corn's gonna go along with it, but about half of the corn juice, let that go, and then just dump the rest of everything in that mix up in here. Some people say this is too much corn for winter time. The corn, I think, is the most filling for the fish. In wintertime, the fish definitely don't eat as much, so consider using less corn in winter, but honestly I'm too lazy to even care. So yeah, now you give this a good mix. Super easy, man. $5 and you get this entire bag of bait. All right, we're looking about good. As you can see, right, like I can kind of bunch it together, but it still falls apart. You want it to be able to fall apart, hold together, but be able to fall apart. All right, so we'll start with the method feeder rod, I guess. The best way to do this is get your method feeder and literally put it like in the bag. I'm trying to do this. Put the method feeder in the bag and then use the bag kind of as a glove and just bunch a bunch around the method feeder, kind of pack it in there. Hence the name pack bait. And like that. That's actually kind of a lot. Definitely don't need that much. And then from your actual hook, from all this, you'll just put the normal corn. Don't even bother trying to put any of the rest of that stuff on there. What I like most about carp fishing is that you're not just gonna catch carp. There's a very good chance today that we catch panfish like tilapia and probably catch some catfish as well. So it's always fun. You get a lot of surprise catches, but that's what we look like. Got a thing of bait, corn, and then chum like that. And then I found summertime, the fish are a little closer to the edge, but so are all the bluegill and stuff. So I'm gonna kind of split the difference and go just a little bit off this edge here. And you can see, like, as it hits the water, you already got a bunch of that bait starting to cloud out right away. Considering moving my camera to the other side because this lighting is starting to become absolute garbage. How's that? Much better. Look at that. I don't even know why I started with the camera on this side, to be honest. We could set up with the method feeder if we're not able to sight fish. I just kind of wanted to show the methods and just sort of display how they all work. But I mean, literally weightless means nothing except a hook. So I got a size 6 hook right there. I like to use octopus or J hooks, and if you can, do plain shank. Like I said, carp have very soft mouths. You don't need to go barbless, but if you got shanks that have like the little extra barbs on them, it can be kind of rough on these fish. So plain shank if you can, J hook, octopus hook. Definitely don't do circle hook because these fish don't have like a side of the mouth, unless they're grass carp. Grass carp kind of do. But take a little bunch like that. I've seen so many people do this, and I've seen so many people do it wrong. I start by putting it around the shank of the hook and then bunching it up around the back side of it. I've seen people literally ball up the hook and put it on the tip of the hook, and I've seen people cover the entire hook, and you're gonna lose a lot of fish that way. This has been my best way to maximize hookup ratio. It's got like a stinger on it, looks like a bee. But look at that, you got that exposed bit right there. So shouldn't be too hard to hook up on a fish. What you're gonna look for is fish that are feeding. You can see them usually face down or face against the edge. And then very gently, very quietly, you'll just cast bait right up around them. Or I like to not cast on the fish, I like to cast in their path. So if you can see the fish is eating and they're moving like this, cast ahead in their in their path, and then they'll come across it naturally. You cast on top of their head. Most fish, especially if they're pressured, they're just gonna run away from you. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to luck out with the sight fish, but if not, I'll definitely just cast this bread out on the bottom. Oh, I just spooked him. There was a koi right there. See, they're a lot harder to see with the water being high, but that fish was right here eating, and then he saw me and he ran. Right there, there's one. So cast the head of it because he's not really moving, and then we'll drag it our way and drop it right in front of his face. So if I were to cast right on top of that fish, 100% he's running away. Oh my gosh, dude. He literally just ripped my bait off. I watched him bite too. Oh my gosh, I should have brought freaking bread with me, dude. Are you kidding me? Well, I ended up making a couple more laps and I just couldn't really see anything going on, so I ended up casting the weightless bread on the bottom, which I guess I should have done initially because I couldn't even check bait on my other rod before this happened. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We just had something tank weightless bread. It does not feel like a catfish. My first instinct is the way that it tanked over like that, it could be a catfish. I wouldn't mind if we caught a catfish, but this is not a catfish themed video. 4-pound line, weightless bread. And that only took like 30 seconds. We stopped sight fishing, decided to cast out. We got something big, dude. This is not a small fish. Oh my gosh. And this is what I'm talking about with when it comes to being patient with lighter line. You cannot muscle these fish. For those who may be newer to it, I see this problem all the time. People get here and they just start reeling. Nothing's happening. You gotta move the fish. See how no drag's being pulled? The best way is to pull the fish towards you very slowly. The slower, the less chance that drag gets pulled. If drag's being pulled, you're making no progress. And then you wanna reel on the way down. So slowly pull them this way. And then we're gonna reel down. I am kind of high sticking a little bit, but who cares? All right, what do we got? Is it a catfish? Is it a carp? Is it a koi? I'm not really seeing a whole lot of color. If it's a koi, it might be a big koi. Oh my gosh, it's a big cat. No way, dude. Oh my gosh. This thing is not fighting like a cat at all. Oh, wow. Well, like I said at the beginning, with carp fishing, you could catch other stuff. You're not guaranteed carp, but it's cool though, because, you know, catfish are fun to catch. Not a bad first fish to kick it off. On a carp video, the first thing we're catching is this nasty cat. That dude's freaking big. Big old kitty cat. Nice, man. We'll take it. Skunk breaker's a skunk breaker. Ow! Look at my hand. He just absolutely wrecked my thumb. I promise, guys, I'm not trying to drag this video out, so here's a little recap over the next hour. I kept catching catfish after catfish and was honestly getting tired of catching them, and even got on a good bluegill bite for a minute there, but we're after carp, so after a while I decided to make a switch. Well, this is not a carp, as you can tell. It is very loud. There's planes flying overhead. Hello, plane. That's probably catfish, like, no joke, number like 10. And I've also probably caught a dozen bluegill, so it's been insane. But this is a carp tutorial, so these methods are still like accurate. I just happen to be catching not carp. We're gonna run to another spot where I've been able to spice them up on topwater bread. That spot also has koi, goldfish, all that other cool stuff. So yeah, sorry it's been all anything but carp, but the information in this video is the same. I gotta pack up here and I'm gonna run down to the other spot. I will see you guys in just a second. Okay, we've made it to spot number 2. This is a spot a lot of you guys know of. This is a place that I have very consistently been able to get them on topwater bread. Bread, that's it, but on the top. Now, a couple notes here. You may not see the fish eating off the top. In a place like this, the water's actually pretty clear on top. Usually when you got like leaves and stuff falling in the water, that's when you'll see the fish kind of start to eat. But if the temperature's right, which I don't know that it is, we're gonna try, you can get them eating off the top by literally taking bread, taking little pieces and just throwing it on top. So we're gonna throw it by this aerator, allow the bread to kind of spread out a little bit. And you don't want to throw like too much, just in case they are eating off the top, but like not a crazy ton. But usually like one slice of bread's plenty. And same thing like with chum. It can take a little bit to get that first bite, but once those fish catch on, like, oh, there's a bunch of food on the top of the water, they'll start going crazy. So we'll see if they end up coming eating off the top. If not, I'm still gonna rig up at some point and show you guys how you can catch fish with the topwater bread method. But I guess before that, let's get some bait on the bottom with our method feeder. I would still like to catch at least one carp on each method, and so far we've caught 0 carp this entire video. So kind of just want to keep an eye up on the water, look for any surfaces, look for any swirls or any mouths coming up. Sometimes they just snipe it, and sometimes they like will literally have their face out the water and just be eating around on the top. So we will see. But got some more pack bait and some corn on the hook. Just throw right here by this aerator. See what we can do, people. I'll wait just a second before casting this other rod, just to see if they start eating on the top. But if not, we'll throw it on the bottom weightless. We still need to catch a carp doing that. Will they be eating off the top? Oh, yes, one just ate off the top. I just saw a swirl, and I just saw a piece of the bread all the way up on top. Like the furthest piece just disappeared. Oh, there we go. That's another one. That's 2. So they're eating off the top now, and that was easy. And it will pick up. It'll pick up. The more the fish start to come up, the more it'll, like, I don't know, the other fish around will start to pick up on that. So what I like to do for topwater bread, you take a piece of bread like that. This is just a corner. I definitely would recommend having crust, and I would definitely recommend white bread for 2 reasons. If you just ball this up around the hook, it's gonna sink. You need it to float on the top, but you can't just hook it, because when you cast it, it's gonna fly off. In fact, I actually just destroyed this piece. Take a piece that has some of the white bit and some of the crust. Oh my gosh, they're going crazy out there. And what we're gonna do is put our hook in the middle, and then we're gonna fold over and just pinch it right on the hook. You wanna leave a lot of this completely untouched, but a little bit's pinched and the rest of it is able to float. So we're gonna locate where they're actively feeding, because I just saw one eating up here a second ago, and it looked like a carp. I saw a tail come up and it was brown. So catfish do eat off the top as well. I'm gonna just cast this kind of out there with the rest of them. And I would recommend, if you are fishing, for topwater carp, I'm getting bit right now, to hold on to your rod, because it can happen in an instant, and if you're not fast enough, they could just rip the bread off your hook. But in my case, another thing you can do is set your rod down, and I'm only doing that because this rod's getting bit, and if we get a fish, I want to be able to like get to it quick. So there's my bread, you can see floating right in the middle there. On the right side over here, we got a bunch of little smaller pieces, so we'll see what they do. Oh, look at him, look at him. Do you see him just eat off the top right there? That was a carp. He literally just came up to the top. He inspected it for a second, and then he ate it. So we'll see. Mine is right behind where he just ate. Oh, yep. You see him? He got it. Oh, did he rip my hook off? I think he might have ripped it off. But hopefully you guys saw that bite. Oh my gosh, he freaking ripped my bait off. See, I would have set the hook good. I just need to get this on camera for you guys. That's good though. They're biting, man. They're biting good. You know what though? I'm gonna actually just hold on to this one, like in between my legs. That way I can like grab it with one hand. Oh, he just ate that bread. Mine's next. Mine is literally the only piece of bread left. The second to last one just got eaten. So they have to get mine now. It's either mine or nothing. Oh, there he goes. He got it. Fish on, baby. We got him. We got him. I hope you guys seen that bite on camera. I was kind of a little more focused on the bread than actually than actually filming it. Heck yeah, dude. Top water bread. I'm glad we could do it because it is a little hot. You can always kick on a bite, but if you ever see him eating off the top like that, you guys have to give it a try. It's just so much freaking fun. Woo! This guy's ripping me around. A little feisty dude. Heck yeah. I'm pretty sure we got all our bait stolen on our pack bait rod. It looked like it was getting pecked by small fish. Nice, dude. That's not a bad fish. Get in the net. Okay, well, for my carp video, we finally landed a freaking carp. I did not think the first carp landed in this video was going to be on my favorite method, which is topwater bread. See, when they start eating off the top, I just want to keep doing it, but I'll probably do more off camera just for fun. But there you guys go. This is a common carp. He's got pretty cool like white tip tail. This is most of what you'll get in ponds and stuff. But we do have koi and goldfish in here, so that's kind of like a next goal for me, is obviously to catch the fish on the other two methods, but I'd like to catch a koi or a goldfish, just something cool. There's also grass carp in here, but now let's check on this. Sure enough, all the chum is gone and all the bait is gone. I was so focused on the topwater bread rod that I kind of wasn't paying too much attention. But all right, we're doing it, man. All it took was a spot change. Well, let's get this out. And then what I'm gonna do is get a weightless bread out. It's basically the same as topwater. It's just you're fishing weightless on the bottom versus weightless on the top. Tip of the hook exposed. Oh, we're getting destroyed. We're getting destroyed. Let me cast this out. Something's destroying this already. They look like little bites. I'm thinking either tilapia or goldfish. Oh, they're still eating off the top out there. Oh my gosh. You guys don't even understand. Topwater bread for carp is like my absolute favorite thing in the world. At the very least, we're gonna catch a carp on weightless bread, pack bait, feeder, just to show you guys the different methods. And yeah, show you that they work. Oh, something's biting our weightless bread already. Dude, this spot is absolutely insane. Oh my gosh, I think someone might have it. This is weightless bread. Just show me a sign. There we go. There we go. That's gotta be a goldfish, dude. It's gotta be a goldfish. Holy, that's such a sick goldfish. Oh my gosh, that might be the coolest goldfish I've ever caught. Oh, wow. Wow. See, this is why I love carp fishing right here. Every now and then you catch some crazy looking fish. I know this isn't like technically a carp, this is a goldfish, but holy. Well, our goal of catching a goldfish or koi already worked out. This is definitely one of the prettier fish I've caught. Before anyone tells me they're invasive, this is literally a catch and release only pond. There's no native species here, so I don't want to hear it. Goodbye, Mr. Goldie. Wow, what a beautiful fish. So that was our weightless bread. So we got topwater bread, weightless bread. Now we just got to catch some kind of carp on our pack bait on the bottom. And you guys will have seen a full spread of the different methods of fishing. A couple different species. I mean, shoot, we got bluegill and catfish earlier. Now goldfish and a common carp. So that is 4 species while carp fishing. And they're still eating off the top over here. Out there, some coming up occasionally. Pretty wild. Oh gosh, trying to film B-roll here. I think we might have a fish. Is he still on? Screw hook sets are free. Yep. Oh, what the heck is that? Whoa. Is that a catfish? What? Is that a tilapia? Oh my gosh! It's a giant tilapia. Oh, that thing's huge. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, you know guys, for the sake of this video not being too long, I know we will could eventually catch a carp this way. Like, this is like the best method for targeting carp, but I think this is even cooler way to end the video on a freaking giant tilapia. Holy, that is a big blue tilapia. So we have now got channel catfish, bluegill, goldfish, common carp, and blue tilapia all on carp fishing gear. So for all those out there who are not really into carp fishing, but maybe you'll try it, just so you know, you will absolutely catch other fish while carp fishing. This is the 5th species. My goodness, what a beautiful, beautiful fish. I kind of hate tilapia, but the big ones like this are so sick. Dude, no way. Thank you for biting, my friend. And I didn't really talk so much about the landing gear, but get yourself a landing mat if you can, or just keep them out of the grass like I have. Just keep them in the net. Goodbye. I hope you guys learned something today, whether you're new to fishing, getting into fishing, or have been fishing a while. A lot of talking, a lot of information, but I want to set you guys up for the best success this summer, because summer fishing and carp fishing just go hand in hand. These fish get fired up, so give it a shot. Go catch some carp, get yourself a big fish. Love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next week.